Every day I'm working with freight brokers and freight broker agents, helping them to build their business, helping them to get the wheels turning, so to speak. And as they do, they start getting customers, they start getting loads, they start moving loads, negotiations, and things of that nature. They get caught up into the day-to-day activities of working as a freight brokers, and they should. But the one thing most of these freight brokers, freight broker agents kind of push aside is their marketing. Marketing is crucial for your brokerage to grow. We're going to be talking about that today in this episode of FBTV. My name is Michael. I'm the lead consultant at Taltoa, as well as being your host for FBTV. Taltoa, if you don't already know, is a training and consulting firm. We specialize in working with freight brokers, freight broker agents, startups, experienced, inexperienced, established, just getting started. We have training and consulting programs, as well as a placement program for those wanting to begin their career or their broker operation as an agent. And if you've seen our other videos, you know that we kind of recommend that. It gives you an opportunity to get started, to get out there and build a customer base, gain some experience before you take it to the next step. Matter of fact, at the end of this video, I invite you to stay tuned. We've got about a 3-minute introduction to a brand new package, and it's taken off like wildfire. It's build your own package, and it starts at $295. That includes your essential training. You're still getting hands-on with the different tools, programs, software for this. And you have a 30-day consulting period, so you want to check that out. The price for that it starts at $295. All right, now we're going to be talking about marketing today. Actually, this is the first of 4 videos that we're going to be talking about marketing, because marketing is that important. We've had some marketing videos before, but it's time to go back and revisit. Today, we're talking about marketing, and the first thing you should be concerned about when it comes to your marketing efforts is a website. If you don't have a website, well, you might want to look at getting one. A website is working for you 24/7. You know, I'm not going to go into all that hype about why you need a website, except if you're an agent, you may be thinking, well, I don't need a website. My broker has a website. Well, that's fine, but your broker, if somebody goes to your broker's website, they're going to call your broker, and your broker's not going to call you and say, hey, got a new customer, I want you to take care of it. No, they're going to work that customer themselves. So by you having your own website, that kind of puts you in the mix. You got to be thinking about marketing, because a lot of people get started in brokering as an agent. Later on down the road, be it 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, you're going to want to maybe get your own authority and start your own freight brokerage company, and that's fine. Having a website now, that's building for the future, because you can be thinking about what you want to call your company, build your website around that. And the way you're going to make everything cohesive is you're going to place on your website XYZ freight brokers contracted to whatever broker company you're contracted to at that time. And that brings everything together. It ties it up in a nice fun little bundle. But what you're doing, you're building your branding for the future. Your website is there. It's climbing in the rankings. It's solidifying your marketing, bottom line. All your marketing is going to be based around your website for the most part. And you'll see this as we go through the next videos. Now, first thing, when you are planning on building a website, you want to think about the domain. Domain is your web address. Yourwebsite.com. Get the idea? Now, 3 things come to the domain, but before we get into the extensions and things like that, think about what you want to call your business. What do you want to call your brokerage? Let's say 2 or 3 years from now, you want to start your own brokerage. What do you want to call it? You want to be thinking about that now when you're building your website, and you want to keep that in the back of your head, so that when you get to that point, your website's there and it's built around the name you want to call your website. See what I mean? Okay. So you want to build that domain to where it fits what you're wanting to do in the future. Now there's extensions. .com, .net, .org, you've seen them. The most popular is .com, and I highly recommend you stay with that because it's most familiar. .net, .org, well, when the internet came into being, or existence, I should say, these extensions meant something. .coms were commercial for-profit businesses. That's what a freight brokerage is. .net, that was more internet-based businesses. .org was generally for a nonprofit. Kind of get the idea. And they've got extensions out the wahoo anymore. You got .tv, .rock, you name it, it's probably out there. So I'd stay with the .com. Now, let me back up to the domain name. When you're trying to figure out what name or what you want to call your website, maybe you want to be XYZ Logistics. Okay, first thing you want to do, you want to go in and see if you can get that domain. And there are places all over the internet. Just do a search for domain, and you're going to find thousands of companies come up where you can buy a domain. Now, with that said, I'll just tell you right now, excuse me, purchasing a domain, it should cost you anywhere from $10 to $15 a year. It's something you're going to have to pay for every year. If you find there are companies out there offering a very discounted or a free domain, read the fine print. Your domain is your business web, your internet business address, bottom line. If you find in that fine print anywhere that you've got to buy the domain from where you've got it, I mean, there's all kinds of things out there. I was reading on one of the big servers today, $2.99, I think, for your domain. That's for the first year. They've got an asterisk up there, and whenever there's an asterisk, that means there's more to the story. So check it out. Make sure you're not you're not getting ripped off somehow either down the road. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So now, the domain, it's going to point to your host. Your host is your host server. The host server is where your website is actually sitting. So whenever anyone types in your domain, www.xyzlogistics.com or whatever, it's going to point to where your host is located. So the reason for that is simple. Maybe you're using this hosting company today, but next year you want to use another hosting company. Well, you can move your site to another host server. Maybe you're saving some money or whatever. Okay, now what you would have to do is go back into your domain and redirect your DNS server to point to where your website is now hosted, what server it's on. So it's not a big deal. Now, before you design or start doing anything with your website on the host, make sure you install the SSL certificate. The SSL certificate, most web hosts is going to provide that to you at no charge. You can go out and buy them, but anymore it's not needed. The reason is simply a few years ago, Google made it a law that if you didn't have an SSL certificate on your website, they were going to tell the world, hey, don't trust this website. There's no SSL certificate. If you look up in your browser, whenever you're browsing around, you a lot of times you'll see that lock where it's either open or it's closed. And open lock means that no certificate. A closed lock means that that it's a secure website. And that's what the SSL certificate's for. It's for safety purposes. Another thing, too, to keep in mind that if you have an SSL certificate on your website, on your host, that's been installed, now your website, instead of being HTTP, it's going to be HTTPS. It's going to have an S at the end of it. And we'll call that for secure. All right, now, that's the basic with the hosting. What about the design? Be careful with the do-it-yourself design. Bottom line. I know there are some companies out there that have, hey, do-it-yourself, blah, blah, blah. It's easy, simple to do. But if you ever looked at one of those do-it-yourselves, generally they come out looking pretty unprofessional, looking like it was a do-it-yourself website. You want your site to look professional. Reality is going to be your customer's perception, be it a carrier, be it a shipper, whatever it is. If they see a website, they come to your website and they see, this don't look, boy, looks like some kid made it. And I'm talking about 5-year-old made it. That's going to be the perception of your business. You know, marketing is creating a reality through a perception. See what I mean? Whatever your customer sees, that's going to be their perception. That's going to become their reality. I may have said that backwards a minute ago, but you get the idea. Marketing is all about creating that perception that's going to become your customer's reality. Now, when you are designing a website, understand you want to keep it simple. We do this at Taltoa. We design websites for our clients all the time. Matter of fact, we were one of the first companies, consulting firms, that offered that to clients as an option, web design. You want to keep it simple. These are the 3 things we really look at when you are building a website, or we're building a website. You want to keep it simple. You want to have easy navigation. Don't need to be that fancy. Understand this, you got shippers coming to your website, customers, you got trucking companies coming to your website. You don't want them to have to spend 10 minutes trying to find what they're looking for. More times than not, when a shipper's coming to your website, they want to see what you got, see what you're doing, and see a phone number, know how to contact you. Forms, that's going to be something else you want on your website. They can fill out a form, off it goes, you get it in your email, and you're able to contact that customer. Same thing with trucking companies. You can set it up the same way. Trucking companies are not wanting to spend 10 minutes trying to find the information they need. I mean, think about it. We are an industry that, where seconds can either make us money or not. So we want to make this simple. We want to make it easy. We don't want anybody getting confused on our website. Now, generally, when we do a website at Taltoa, it's a 5-page website, basic. You got the home page, you got the About Us page, shipper page, carrier page, contact page. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, there is a 6th page that you can add down the road. You're going to use that as your load board page. In other words, loads you have posted, it's going to display, it's going to mirror loads you have posted on that 6th page, your loads page. Now, the thing is, you don't want to have a loads page until you're posting at least 20, 30, 40 loads a day, bottom line. The last thing you want is for a trucking company or a customer to come to your website, see a loads page, let's see, and nothing be on that loads page. That's going to look awful. Hey, they're brokerage, but they sure aren't doing anything. If you got 20 or 30 loads posted up there all the time, that kind of shows everybody, hey, you're happening. You're busy. You got things going on. Now, how do you get this loads page? Is it going to cost you thousands of dollars? Are you going to have to do this? Going to have to do that? You're going to have to hire somebody to write code to make it all work? Are you going to have to go in and type, enter all the loads you've got on a daily basis? No. Matter of fact, 123 Load Board. This isn't a commercial for 123 Load Board. If there was other load boards out there doing it, I'll be talking about them too. 123 Load Board includes a feature to where it will provide you a snippet of code. All you do is embed that code on that 6th page, the loads page for your operation on your website. And any load you have posted on 123 Load Board will automatically mirror on that loads page. It's simple. If you post a load, it's going to show up on that loads page. If you depost the load, you got a truck to move it, you're going to take it down, it will automatically remove itself from your loads page. That's a great tool. Matter of fact, Internet Truck Stop used to offer that. I think they called it WebMate. They don't anymore, but they charged you a lot of money for it, back in the day. Well, I say a lot of money. I think it added $10. But neither here nor there. 123 Load Board, it comes with your package, standard feature. Now, forums. You can create all the forums you want to for your website. My recommendation is keep everything kind of simple. Make one standard form where everybody can do anything. You want to, everybody can use that form, be it on your contact page. You can embed it on the shipper page. You can embed it on the carrier page if you want to. Keep it simple. You can make the form do whatever you want it to do. In other words, you can ask 100 questions, have them fill out 100 questions form. But basically, I found keeping it simple: email address, name, company, phone number, message, something like that. Now, the idea with the form is somebody fills it out, they click submit. That the submission, what they filled out, is going to go to your email. So when you get it, you can look at it. It's pretty instantaneous, just long enough, for them to click submit, run through your mail servers, and get to you. Use the forms. That creates that instant access. That gives your customer instant access to you. Telephone numbers too. Now, I do not ever recommend putting your email address on your website. If you do that, you probably are already aware of this. If you put email addresses on your website, forget it. You're going to be getting hundreds of spam mails every day. That's there's people out there farming those email addresses they can find on the internet, and that's how they're getting to you. So no email addresses on your website. Phone number, contact forms, fax number. If you got a fax number, that's pretty much it. Address too, your mailing address and such. But no email addresses. Now, while we're on the subject of email, you want to think about your email address. Matter of fact, I tell all my clients, always set up an email address for business only, for your broker operation only. Never use your personal email. Now, a lot of people think, they come to us and they say, hey, I want to use an email with my web address, like Mike at Tautoa.com or FBTV.com or whatever. They want that, their email address to be associated with their website. 10 years ago, I'm all for it. I'm saying, yeah, that's exactly how you want to do it. But today, Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, all those other mail service providers, email service providers, they're accepted today. 10, 15 years ago, not so much. It just looked more professional. Now, granted, if you're able to do that and it's not going to cost you in data, obviously, yeah, your name at yourwebsite.com be great. Here's the problem. Back several years ago, host servers didn't really care too much about email. Maybe they did some aspects of it, but today they all care about it. So your email, it eats up disk space on your host server. And once it's used all the disk space on your host server, guess what? Your website's going to shut down. So that's why we generally recommend, okay, with Tautoa, when we're doing a website, yeah, okay, you may want one email address, but you're going to have to really pay attention to it. You're going to have to go in there and clean that mailbox up, quite often. Now, usually your email client can do that for you. And when I say email client, I'm talking about, Outlook or something like that. But you can set it up for maintenance. Now, usually when you're using an email client like Outlook or something, you're going to be able to set up an archive email folder. So after X amount of time or whenever you want to, you can take your messages and we'll save them to your archive folder. And that can, if you set it up this way, it can remove them off your server. And that's the main thing you want to do, is keep your server clean. That way you're not going to run out of space. So keep that in your mind. All right. There's a lot more things here. We're just touching the surface when we're going over these topics, but hopefully you get the idea about a website and using a website for marketing. There's a lot of things. Your website's going to be your hub. Your marketing is going to work off that website. But the thing about a website, it's working for you 24/7, 365 days a year. If you're an agent and you've got your own website, now you are in the mix. That same customer that found your broker's website, maybe they found your website first and they call you instead of your broker. That's going to be your client. All right. Next time we get together, we're going to be still talking about marketing, but we're going to be talking about blogs. How can a blog help you with your marketing? That's coming up next time on FBTV. Now, like I said a moment ago, got a video for you. I hope you stick around. It's a couple of 2 or 3 minutes long, but it's something new from Taltoa. It's a brand new package. It includes your essential hands-on training. It's got a consulting period. It's a build your own package, and it starts at $295. Can't beat it. It's hot right now. It's very hot. Watch this. Going to explain a lot more. We'll talk soon. Hey, have a great day unless you've made other plans. Stick around for the video. Taltoa, the industry leader for transportation and logistics training and consulting. For over 20 years, we've been helping our clients achieve their goals as transportation professionals. Our training has been imitated, our training material copied, and one even used our training material for their own freight broker training school. In addition, there have been some so-called freight broker training schools that have posted fake reviews. We've often been imitated, but never duplicated. One thing that you can count on from a Taltoa consultant is that you will get the facts, no sales hype. As we are a consulting firm, our client's success is our utmost importance. There's no time for games. Over the years, we've been the first to offer our popular no-travel, hands-on live training. The first to offer guaranteed placement as a freight broker agent. The first to offer pay-go financing. The first to offer our clients web design. The first to offer video and audio production. And the list just keeps on growing. And now, another first. The Build Your Own Freight Broker Training and Consulting Package. The Build Your Own package starts at $295, and that includes training and consulting. With the BYOP, you can custom build your training and consulting package to fit your specific need and budget. These options include live essential training with our on-demand option, or just on-demand essential training only. Placement as a freight broker agent through the Taltoa Mentorship Program. You also have the option to add the TMP or not for a period of time that you choose. The consulting option works the same way. You choose to add or not for a period of time that you choose. The BYOP also provides you with the option of adding our popular web design package that includes your domain, a 5-page design, and your first year of hosting. It's your call. Pay only for what you need. It's the Freight Broker Training and Consulting Build Your Own package. It's another first from Taltoa.